Hi guys! Welcome back to the Little HK Knits Knitting Podcast. I hope you all have had a great start to the new year. Happy 2016! And I guess with that, I should start with where you can find me. You can find me on Instagram as Little HK Knits and on Ravelry as Knitting by Hilary and on YouTube as Little HK Knits. So I guess with that, I will get right into the knitting portion of this podcast. So I have no finished objects. No finished objects because last week I was gone to a conference, but I will talk more about that in the week in review. So I guess I'll just go right into the works in progress. So here is this shawl is a giant shawl. This is for my aunt. This is her Christmas present. Let's see if I can. This is not all going to fit in one frame, but it's still on the needle, so it shouldn't be too big. So this is the top, and then this is the bottom. So it's got some blue, some green, some orange, some yellow, and some purple. And this yarn is 100% wool. So I just went to my local craft store and got some of their 100% wool yarn, and I dyed my own yarn. So I have little samples of the yarn from the leftovers because I wanted to use an entire skein of each color just because I didn't want to waste any of it. And so I guess I'll start with what I named each of these little colorful skeins of wonderfulness. So the first one, the blue one, it's like a turquoisey color, and I came up with the name of Sea Breeze because it's so tropical and I just like how it makes me think of summertime. So all of these colors have to do with summertime or like just like colorful stuff. So the blue one is Sea Breeze, and then I guess I'll go with the orange, go in order of the colors. So this orange, it's not really like an orangey color, it's more of like there we go. It's like a really deep orange. So instead of calling it like an orange, I went with tangerine. So I was really struggling with finding a name for this one because I wanted to say citrus, like something citrusy, but it's not really a citrus color, so it was more of a tangerine. And so after asking my parents like 10 times, like, what should I name this? What color does it look like? And they're like, well, that's up to you to decide. So I ultimately decided on tangerine. So, and this is the last full, or like I'm almost done with this skein. I only have like a little bit left, so yay, almost done with the shawl. Then I can bind it off and then give it to my aunt. Then the next color is this green color. There we go. This is more of a it's not showing up very well. Let's see if I can go this way. It's more of a I don't know what. It's not showing up there. There we go. There we go. So this one is tropical palm because it reminded me of a palm tree. And yeah, so that's the green one. And the yellow one, oh wait, purple is next, not yellow. The purple one, this is the color I was having the most trouble with coming up with a name, because it's like purple, and when you think of purple you think of like grapes or like flowers, and I came up with lavender petunia because petunias grow in the summertime, I think. I don't know much about flowers. So lavender petunia, and the last color is the yellow. This is my favorite one. I don't usually like yellow, but I'm very proud of how this yellow turned out. And this one is, it's like a really, there we go. It's a bright, vibrant yellow, and this one is Summertime Sunshine. So those are all the colors that I came up with, and all of this yarn was dyed with Kool-Aid and food coloring, and I just put it in my microwave and waited for the water to become clear, since that's what I learned from the YouTube videos from, I think it was Chemnitz, that she showed how to do the I'm drawing a blank, dyeing with Kool-Aid. And yeah, so that's what inspired me, and I hope to do more Kool-Aid dyeing with food coloring because it makes the colors so much more vibrant. And I already have an idea for what I want to do next. I want to make a variegated colorway in the yellow, blue, and orange. And I already have a name for it. I want to call it Rubber Ducky because it just reminds me of a rubber duck. So hopefully I can figure out how to do that. I'm not really sure how to dye yarn or a skein of yarn 3 different colors without just making it all one color. And so hopefully I'll be able to figure that out. And I have 1 more week off of school, so hopefully I can get it done within that time frame. But if not, well, there's always the weekend. So going on to my my next work in progress, it is yet another shawl. This one is a slightly smaller shawl. It's the same triangular shawl, and this one is on, this one is made on worsted weight yarn on size 10 needles. I think these are on my Knit Pro needles. These are the nicest knitting needles I own. So, and these were from my local yarn shop, which, speaking of my local yarn shop, there is the knitting day tomorrow. Oh, on Thursday. And I'm so sorry, I've completely forgot to say what day it was. Today is Wednesday, January 6th, 2016. There we go. Better late than never. So anyway, tomorrow, Thursday, is my local yarn store's knitting day, which I was so happy. The day that I got back from school was a Thursday, about 2 weeks ago, and the first thing I did when I got home was I went to my local yarn store to participate in their knitting day, just because my school doesn't, like, they say they have a knitting club, but whenever I go, there's no one is there, so it was just nice to get to knit with people for a couple hours. And yeah, so that was great, and I'm really looking forward to going back and seeing all of the people. So going back to my other triangular shawl, this one is for a gift, and this is on size 9 needles, and the yarn I'm using is some Red Heart yarn that I got on Cyber Monday, since everything is supposed to be on sale on Cyber Monday, so yay for Cyber Monday. And then the green, and the purple and the blue. The purple is amethyst, and then the blue is just a light blue. And the green is actually a different brand of yarn because they didn't have a giant skein. So this is the Lion brand Baby Soft yarn, and colorway is pistachio. So this one has taken me a long time, just because I wanted to start my aunt's shawl, and plus the colors are so much more exciting. So not that I don't like these colors, I just like the yarn that I dyed myself better. So always take your hand dyed yarn over yarn that you've bought, because it's always so much more fun, because you never know what it's gonna look like. So yeah, so that is one of my finished objects. It's almost done. One of my works in progress. And then please do not laugh at me. I'm still working on my Christmas knitting. Since I was on vacation, I did not have time to finish all of my Christmas knitting. Plus, I started it kind of late due to having school and all of that. So this is a scarf for my mom for Christmas, and she actually picked out this color. This like I don't know what color it is. I forgot to look, but it has like some yellows, some blue, some green that I did not know it had in it, and some purple. So it's like just like a variegated yarn. And she picked it out and she was like, "Oh, I like this yarn." And lo and behold, I stand back in the yarn aisle while she goes and picks something else out, and I try to figure out what colors would go with it. So I came up with a gray and then a purple, which this is turning out to be black, and it's not. Yeah, it's like a really dark purple, so it's not really going to show up that well. So yes, and this is the Beasley cowl, and that is by, I'm drawing a blank at who that's by, but it's a free pattern on Ravelry. I will link it in the show notes, which yes, I am very horrible at posting the show notes, because I used to write all my show notes out and then have to type them all in, and these become such a hassle that I've just decided to write them all on my mom's iPad and then copy and paste them into the little website. Oh, I forgot to mention that the show notes are on littlehknits.wordpress.com, and I will also link that in the description box on YouTube and on Ravelry. So in case you didn't catch that, you can go to Ravelry or YouTube if you don't have a Ravelry account, and see the show notes. And yeah, so this, oh, and this is knit on size 10 needles, yes. And then my dad's Christmas present is he wanted a neck warmer, and it took me forever to come up with one that he would like, because he's very particular in stuff that he'll wear, and he wanted one in not a fancy little colorway, he wanted it in black. So this is going to be really hard for me to show because it is in black and you can't see the little all the detail. So it's a 2x2 ribbing, and I have to do that for 7 inches. And this is a free pattern on Ravelry. It's just a simple neck warmer by, let's see, I gotta look at my show notes. It is by Brenda Zook on Ravelry. So, oh, and this is being knit on size 10 needles, but it is in hibernation right now because my size 10 needles are all in use. And yeah, so it's being held on a size 8 needles, which these needles, I just got these at the craft store, and I thought that they were going to be like, oh, these nice needles, because they're like the needle part itself is very like, it's plastic and it's like the twisted ones, so it's got like the little colors, but the cable on it is more, it's like plastic, so it bends and it's like squishy, and it gets caught like right here, if you can see that. So like all the yarn gets caught because it can bend like that, and I needless to say, I probably won't use these. It'll probably just be used for holding projects that I don't have room for on knitting needles because I want to work on something else. So yes, that is I think all of my works in progress. So going on to upcoming knitting. So I have one upcoming project, and this is going to be an infinity scarf, or I'm not sure if it's going to be an infinity scarf or just a regular scarf because this is yarn that I've had in my stash for quite some time. It's the Red Heart TLC. It's in a purple colorway, but this yarn has recently been discontinued, so I went on I think it was Etsy. This was like a year ago, and I found this yarn. Or no, never mind. I didn't find this yarn. Excuse me. I found a yarn similar to this because I had two skeins of purple. This is the lighter purple, and then there's a darker purple, and the darker purple is the one that my mom really liked. So this purple, I'm just gonna make a scarf for my church because every year they have like a hat and a scarf tree, so you can put hats and scarves on there, and they'll donate them to people in need. So I've always wanted to do that, and last year I made two scarves, and my mom liked both of them, and so needless to say, they stayed at home. So this year, this is definitely going to be going to the tree. So hopefully it will go to the tree. And yes, and it will make someone very happy. So I don't know if it's going to be an infinity scarf or a regular scarf, but I think it's definitely going to be a infinity scarf just because it's a textured yarn, and I can't really, and it's just going to be I think it'll just be easier for it to be an infinity scarf. Then it can really, plus it's purple, so I think it might go to a girl. And infinity scarves are in now, so, and an infinity scarf is actually, I think, warmer than a regular scarf because it can go all the way around your neck instead of just sitting there and then you have to wrap it around. So I think it'll be an infinity scarf. And yeah, so that's all my upcoming. And then I have, sorry for the crinkling, I have this yarn that I was gifted. I'm not going to say her name because I didn't, I'm not sure if she wants me to mention her name. But it was through the Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted. It was a thing on Instagram, and I saw the post, and I was like, oh my goodness, it would be so cool if I could get a skein of the, I'm not even sure how you pronounce this, the hot knit yarn. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce that. I don't know if it can, there we go. I think it's going to be backwards. Oh no! There we go. It's backward. Yeah, so the lady got in contact with me, and she asked me what color I would like, and I was like, I'm not picky, but my favorite colors are blue and purple. So she got me this skein of blue and purple, and it is, I'm not sure what colorway it is, but it is 100% super wash merino, and it is 400 yards, so this will be a nice pair of socks. But I don't know how to make socks yet, so this is an incentive for me to learn how to make socks. So I'm going to definitely be saving this until I know how to make socks that are actually usable. So yeah, so I'm very thankful for this yarn, and yeah, I love this color, and it's just so squishy. So this is actually very exciting because I never get to have like the yarn, like the hand-dyed yarn, because again, poor college student. Yeah, so this is really exciting. So yes, and I'm just gonna put that over there because I don't want to mess with all the crinkling. And yes, that brings me to my week in review. So this past week I was in St. Louis. For those of you who don't live in the United States, St. Louis is in Missouri, and it's like in the bottom half of the it's like the last state that's in the Midwest, I think. So yeah, so that was Really interesting. I started knitting on this shawl, the triangular shawl, on the way there, and I was getting like really car sick because it was like a 6 hour car ride, and I have not been on that long of a car ride in a very long time, and so I was like getting stomach ache and everything, and yeah, so it was, um, but it all went away, and I was able to enjoy the conference, which the conference was for the Christian organization that I belong to on my college campus, uh, which is InterVarsity, and they have this conference that comes every 3 years. It's like their world missions conference, and it talks about like uh, going like overseas or just like staying in your own community and spreading the word of God, and yeah, just uh, sharing that good news. And I'm sorry if some of you guys aren't into the whole religion thing. So if you're not into that, then you can just fast forward to the end, and there will be a. Actually, you know what? I'll just ask the question now, and then I'll go into the week in review, just in case some of you don't want to hear about the all of the religion stuff. So I won't push that on you. So the question that I have for you guys this week is, what is your favorite kind of animal? So my favorite kind of animal is, well, when I was little, it was an elephant, which I it still is to this day, and I have a whole bunch of elephant stuffed animals. And the first one that I ever got, it was like those Beanie Baby elephants, and I named it Ellie because I couldn't say elephant, and yeah, so I still have that stuffed animal to this day, and it's still named Ellie, and yeah, so that was my favorite animal when I was little, and now my favorite animal is still an elephant, but uh, I don't really have a favorite because I have two, and my second favorite is uh, rabbits because I have a rabbit, and yes, so my rabbit is also my favorite. So if you can't choose, then you can put two or three or however many animals you want, or just say you don't have a favorite. And yeah, so you can also put your answer on Ravelry. I will have a thread in the episode thread thing, which I am getting better at the Ravelry post thread thing because it's still kind of new to me. And yeah, so I guess that's all for the knitting related stuff. So if you don't want to stick around for the week in review, I thank you for joining me, and you can find me on Instagram and YouTube as Little HK Knits, and on Ravelry as Knitting by Hilary. So I thank you all for joining me, and I hope you all have a great rest of your week. And yes, so uh, so yes, going back to my week in review, I went to a World Missions Conference in St. Louis, Missouri, the past week, and we just learned about how we can share God's word, whether that means going all the way overseas or just staying in our own neighborhoods, or just like spreading it on our campus. So um, yeah, so it was really interesting to see, and there were 16,000 people at this conference, so that was a lot. And yeah, and they had an exhibit, or an exhibit hall for all of the um, like the what are they, the missions people that like organizations. That's what I'm looking for. So they had like, I want to say 250 or more. I think there was more than that. Because on the little map thing, it was like 1,000 booths, so it was a lot. And then they also had a bookstore, which I bought 4 books, so uh, I may show them next week. But I don't want to um, push all the religion stuff on you guys if you don't want that, because I completely understand. But anyway, they had a bunch of teaching organizations, and there was this one school that really stuck out to me, and it was just so amazing just to see um, how much uh, like how much they like really wanted people to come, and they were like, "Oh, you can come like over your spring break or something like that," and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, that would be so cool." So hopefully sometime, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that or because going all the way overseas, that is a pretty uh, that is a lot to take on. And yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to do that, but like I said, uh, keep an open mind, and whatever God wants to happen, He'll make it happen. So yeah, and then like we had a whole bunch of seminars about like missions and just uh, like seeing if you have what it takes to go on missions and all of that stuff. So it was really eye-opening and just kind of humbling actually, because you think about it and people, uh, it's not something to take lightly because you're like leaving your family and your family and friends and uh, going to a foreign country and uh, teaching people about Jesus. So it's truly humbling because you are doing the work of God, and you just want to, uh, or yeah, so it's just truly humbling that you're doing a great thing. And yeah, so after like all the seminars, um, it was dinner, and the dinner was great. And yeah, so after dinner, we always had like our evening seminars, or evening session, excuse me, where all of the 16,000 people would gather. And um, yeah, and on the last day, New Year's Eve, yes, I spent New Year's Eve uh, with 16,000 people in a amphitheater, and we were singing all of the songs that we had learned over the past week. And it was just so fun just to ring in the new year with 16,000 people. So how many people can say that, oh my goodness, I got to ring in the new year with 16,000 people? Uh, not very many. So it was just an amazing, amazing thing. And it only happens every 3 years, so I will still be in college uh, when the next conference comes around. So it is very, um, it is such a great thing. And I am looking forward to going the next time it comes around. So, yeah. So I thank you all for joining me this week. And yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of your week. And I thank you for joining me. And as always, you can find me on Instagram and YouTube as Little HK Knits, and on Ravelry as Knitting by Hilary. So thank you. Have a great week. Bye.